It's March 27th, 1999. The night sky over Serbia churns with storm clouds as an F-117 Nighthawk cuts through the darkness, silent, sleek, and nearly invisible. At the controls sits Lieutenant Colonel Darrell Zelko. His target, the Serbian Air Force Command Center in Belgrade, the nerve hub coordinating defense efforts against NATO strikes. Zelko is accompanied partway by a squadron of F-16 Vipers armed with anti-radar missiles. But as they reach the border, the weather thickens. Over the radio comes a firm voice identifying itself as the Joint Forces Air Component Commander, ordering all escorting aircraft to return to base. The weather's too severe. Zelko acknowledges the directive. He's alone now. If he wants to make it back alive, he has to stay undetected, a ghost in enemy skies. Thankfully, he's flying what was then the most advanced stealth bomber on Earth. The Nighthawk's radar cross-section shrinks its 65-foot body to the size of a tennis ball. No one's managed to touch one yet. No one. Until tonight. Down below, Lieutenant Colonel Zoltán Dani's missile battery waits in grim silence. Local intelligence has warned him, stealth aircraft are coming. Dani believes this might be their best chance to bring one down. He tells his crew to sweep the skies. The old P-18 radar hums to life, its green screens flickering with static. The operators report that low-frequency mode could help detect a stealth fighter, but it also reflects every raindrop and cloud in the storm. Dani studies the messy radar return. Among the false echoes, he spots something. One faint, consistent blip cutting through the noise. He knows what it is. The ghost has arrived. He instructs the crew to activate the targeting radar. It clicks on, but the screen remains blank. His operators report they can't see the target. Dani tells them to stay on it. Meanwhile, Zelko's F-117 Nighthawk approaches Belgrade, his systems calibrating for bomb release. Back on the ground, Dani's men still report nothing, until Zelko opens his bomb bay doors to deploy his payload. The move makes his aircraft just visible enough. Now Dani's crew sees the target. Both tracking radars lock on. Dani gives the order. Launch. Two missiles roar into the sky. Zelko's bombs strike the target in Belgrade, completing the mission. He pulls up to 6,000 meters, hearing the cockpit alarm switch from success tones to something far more urgent, a lock alert. Through the storm clouds below, he sees the flashes of two missiles streaking toward him. He throws his aircraft into evasive maneuvers, pulling hard Gs. The F-117 isn't equipped with chaff. It relies entirely on stealth and pilot skill. The first missile misses. Pure luck. The second doesn't. It detonates close enough to shred the left wing of the aircraft with shrapnel. The night sky erupts in orange flame as the aircraft rolls violently out of control. Spinning, shaking, and screaming with alarms, Zelko struggles to keep consciousness under crushing G-forces. He knows he's out of options. The only move left is ejection. Even that could kill him. Fighting the G-forces, he pulls the handle. The canopy blasts away, and the ejection seat rockets him out. For a second, it feels like the seat hasn't cleared the aircraft, but then the parachute snaps open above him. Below, his Nighthawk spirals into a fiery descent. As he drifts down through the dark, he realizes he's alive. Relief floods in, and then he spots the parachute. It's bright orange. So much for stealth. He radios out an emergency distress call. Mayday, Mayday, Vega 31 going down. A calm reply comes through, confirming they've heard him. That's all he needs to know. Help is coming. Touching down in muddy farmland, Zelko dives into a ditch. He covers himself in mud and waits, motionless. Within minutes, Serbian forces, police, and even civilians swarm the area. Flashlights sweep the fields. Trucks rumble by on the nearby road. At one point, he hears something moving through the underbrush. A dog sniffing closer. Hand on his knife, he holds his breath. Killing it might reveal him faster. He lets it go. The dog bounds away, and silence returns. Time crawls. Then the radio crackles. A rescue pilot calls for Vega 31, asking if it's safe to approach. Zelko doesn't reply right away. Enemy lights still flicker nearby. The voice repeats the question. He finally responds. It's go time. He tries signaling the rescue chopper with an infrared strobe, but it fails. Desperate, he lights a flare. The red glow floods the area, exposing him as searchlights swing in his direction. But the flare works. The helicopter spots him and dives in fast. Over the radio, their rescuers tell him to extinguish the flare. It's blinding their night vision. He shoves it into the mud as the helicopter lands in front of him. Armed rescue troops run out, pulling him aboard amidst the roar of rotors. Seconds later, they lift off, vanishing just before enemy patrols storm the site. Zoltán Dani's unit would become the first and only team to bring down a stealth aircraft in combat. Years later, Dani described the moment of impact as feeling like scoring the winning goal in a championship game. The U.S. never destroyed the wreckage. Serbian forces recovered much of the debris, some of which remains on display today in the Museum of Aviation in Belgrade.